Good morning, everyone. I'm Taylor Safford, President and CEO of Pier 39, and on behalf of our grateful waterfront family, it is my privilege to extend a sincere thank you to the Port of San Francisco for all you've done and continue to do to build the best waterfront in North America. Yay! From AT&T Park, home of the world champion San Francisco Giants, to the ferry building, to the new Exploratorium and new cruise ship terminal, to Pier 39, to Fisherman's Wharf, and all of the restaurants and businesses in between, we are all proud to wish you, the Port of San Francisco, a happy 150th anniversary. Today, projects such as the New Warriors Arena establish the port as a world-class waterfront destination, due in large part to the leadership and vision of Mayor Ed Lee and Port Executive Director Monique Moyer, as well as the dedication of the Port Commissioners and staff. It is now my pleasure to introduce Honorable Ed Lee, Mayor of San Francisco.
Good morning, everybody. Happy birthday. I just want to make sure you know that if you combine the ages of myself, Board President Chiu, and Monique Moyer, we might get to 150 years. Maybe. But I'm down here to have fun today. Get out of City Hall, go to Bubba Gump's. Make sure I spend it with other people that love to have fun, like our port commissioners, our port directors, their staff. Rec and Parks here. I know the fire chiefs had to lessen her fun time and go to a 3-alarm fire, so thank you to her to always keep vigilant for our city. Our DEM is here. I know Ann Cronenberg is here as well. With Rec and Park, they've discovered yet another great partner to find waterfront open space that we can all enjoy, both in terms of getting our public to understand our bond program better, but also to create new spaces. So thank you, Phil, for being here as well. Our port commissioners extend not just to present, but to past port commissioners. I know Rodney knows that, and I saw Mike Hardiman and others, because it takes generations of people to create things along the waterfront. It is incredibly expensive to restore a lot of our piers, and Monique's the first person to know that intimately and historically. But we do have persons and entities that want to continue this fabulous waterfront experience and to make investments, whether it's Jefferson Street, Brandon Wharf, Piers 3032, Seawall Lot 337, this and that, the Exploratorium. As Taylor has said, there's wonderful opportunities. So I want to again thank past and present port commissioners, and I see them here now, that they have earned the title of being the greatest stewards of our waterfront. So thank you for your ongoing efforts to do this. And they work incredibly well with the other agencies. I know because this is Pier 39 and one of the most iconic travel destinations, I understand that's why John Martin's here, because while he flies airplanes, he's part of an incredible transportation center. And we all know that, and we all share in that wonderful experience with being clearly the destination for so many millions of people every day. And as we do this, we reinvent and reinvest and find other reasons for people to enjoy themselves here. And those projects like the Exploratorium, like the Bay Lights, like a renewed effort to create more water-based transportation to complement the bridges that we build. We'll create more bridges on an international level for our city. So all of that in the context of a great anniversary, 150 years. There's going to be, throughout this year, more stories to be told about what this 150 years means to our city. Because there's a lot of generations of people who came to this city many, many years, built communities, built their small business, built their livelihood and hopes, and helped us establish the Fisherman's Wharf, helped us establish all of the maritime uses that this waterfront has, created lifetimes of reasons why people want to continue visiting our city. And we need to acknowledge all that history. All of it has not been easy. There have been difficult things, and we've had fights over what is proper and what is not proper, but we've always had in our sights, in all these different struggles, the success of our city, the Golden Gate Bridge and the hope it brings to many generations of immigrants. That's what our city's built on. And the honor that we have with all of our labor partners who also, through Jimmy Herman and the cruise ship terminal and their honoring, built this great city and built it through many, many years of generations of struggle, but also of great celebrations that we have. So this is a wonderful year, 150 years of history. Let's learn it all. Let's continue appreciating. But let's look forward to the next 150 years, because we're building the infrastructure to do that. We're laying the foundation to do that. We're creating partnerships among the agencies, but also public-private partnerships to create it. Because I'll tell you, someone who's going to invest $150 to $200 million in just the piers themselves before they build anything on top is an incredible indication of the faith they have in our city. And it's about investor confidence. It's about why we exist in such a great, wonderful city. So thank you, Monique. Thank you to the Port Commission, to all your wonderful partners and your staff for working so hard with entities like Pier 39 and others who are going to continue that investor confidence here and all along the waterfront. Thank you to labor and all of your partners for helping us. Thank you to all the other agencies for being here. Happy 150th anniversary to our great city.
Thank you, Mayor Lee. We wish you continued success. Also here with us today is the President of the Board of Supervisors and the Supervisor from our very own District 3, David Chiu.
Thank you, Taylor. Mr. Mayor, if it's okay, could you and I just declare it a city holiday today so we don't have to go back to work and just hang out here in Pier 39? I want to thank all of you who are the incredible diversity of the community that is the port, the community that are our waterfront piers and our wharfs. This is the story of our city. Our port has really defined our past, as I think we all know. The first 49ers came right here to this spot to build this city. During World War II, our military ships were recommissioned right here from our port. We know that our friends from labor, as our mayor said, built our city starting here with this waterfront. This is the story of our city. We also know that the waterfront in our port defines who we are in the present. It's amazing that this year in 2013, if you just walk along the waterfront in my district, you'll start at the Fisherman Wharf pedestrian streetscape improvements. You'll go down to our new cruise ship terminal that we just cut the ribbon for a few weeks ago. You'll walk down to the terminals and the ports where America's Cup will entertain 1 million international visitors within a few months. Walk down a couple more blocks to Piers 15 to 17, where we're going to see 500,000 kids come every year to the Exploratorium, to go all the way down to what we know will be the next site of the Warriors Arena, down to the ballpark, and so on and so on. The waterfront, the port, is our city's present. It is our city's story. And we also know that this is a story that's going to continue. One of the things I love about Pier 39 is if you come here on any day, you'll see little boys and girls playing with their parents who will come back a few years later as teenagers and young adults, young men and women, flirting on the piers, dating each other, who will come back a few years later for their honeymoon, who will come back a few years later with their kids. And so the cycle of the story of our city continues. And I know that in 50 years, when we're celebrating the 200th birthday of this place, when Monique Moyer's granddaughter and Ed Lee's great-grandson are helping to run this city, they will look back onto the city leaders today who are represented by all of you and say, you know, in 2013, our city forefathers or city foremothers thought it appropriate to invest in our port and make sure that we are building a 21st century port to last. Happy birthday. Thank you.
I think we all look forward to that Moyer-Lee administration. And finally, our good friend and dynamic leader, the Executive Director of the Port of San Francisco, Monique Moyer.
Okay, so raise your hands. How many of you would like to be me today? I am so humbled and honored. What a great fortune to land my term right on the 150th year. Because the one thing I will tell you about being 150 years old is you realize that your time is really short and really insignificant. And if I were to dare to count how many port directors there have been before and how many there will be after, it would become even more of a speck in time. But I get to be here with all of you, and so many of you who have been here at this waterfront for decades. All of you from Fisherman's Wharf, thank you for coming today. Because of you, it is our waterfront that has evolved ahead of everywhere else in the world. This is a perfect place to celebrate, because here we have a little bit of something of everything in Fisherman's Wharf. Fisherman's Wharf has been part of the port since its inception. That's how we ate. That's how we did commerce. We paid for the fish we ate with gold, but nonetheless, we subsisted on fish and the agriculture that was grown around our bay and brought over here to San Francisco to feed the miners who weren't farmers and to create a new economy for San Francisco. And haven't we brilliantly, completely, and over time made new economies and so many new economies that we now have to name the latest new economy as the economy of invention and creativity? And wasn't that what we were doing back in the gold rush? So it was really rather stunning to be here with all of you who have made this possible. In 1900, the Fisherman's Wharf community worked with us to move up here to this area of our waterfront, more of a lagoon area where we could congregate a little bit better and save the areas where Fisherman's Wharf had been for the commerce that was badly needed to sustain our city. As the modes of logistics changed, as our needs changed as a community, it was Fisherman's Wharf who helped us to vision what could be the future. And almost 50 years ago, the discussions began how to enliven our waterfront, how to keep it a working waterfront as we have here with all of us as visitors, as those folks who are enjoying the great food our city has to offer, the wonderful open space, but also our working ferries that are helping to transport us around the bay and are here for us in times of emergency and in times of celebration. And so this is what we stand for in San Francisco, and this is a terrific place for us to celebrate. And I couldn't be more honored to be here with all of you to celebrate those generations that went before us, and as Mayor Lee and President Chiu said so eloquently, those generations that will come after us. It is a tremendous honor, and I thank you for being here to share in that honor. And please, happy birthday to all of you and to the Port of San Francisco.
Thank you, Monique. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, the birthday cake. I'd like the speakers to gather around the cake and lead us all to sing happy birthday to the Port of San Francisco.